Hello everybody, Baltmatrix here, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures Deluxe Class Bumblebee. This is probably the most detailed Bumblebee figure we've gotten, or at least the most traditional in terms of transformation, posability, and accessories. Head sculpt for the figure is pretty good, though he has a static frown on his face, which I'm not a huge fan of. The figure stands approximately 5 inches at his tallest point. When scaled with figures from other lines, it scales somewhere between a current Siege Deluxe class figure and a Legends class figure from Powers of the Prime / Titans Returns. Bumblebee comes with 2 accessories that are stored on his back. The first one is this small gun, which is hand carried in use and easily put in both hands. And then his Stinger weapon. The Stinger weapon comes in 2 parts, this energy part and then the actual metal stinger. I just leave them together because that really is the best way for them to work. And they are able to, the stinger is able to be put onto either fist and act like he is able to, sting a deceptive fool. Bumblebee has a nice range of posability. Head is on a ball joint. Shoulders are on a hinge for up and down, and then there is a ball joint within the shoulder, a ball joint at the elbow. Fists do swivel. There is a torso swivel. Ball joint in the hips that allowed for forward kicking, backward kicking, and outward kicking, though the outward kicking is only at about 50 to 60 degrees. Bend at the knee, though it is not 90 degrees, and there is a thigh swivel that is rather tight and clickety. The feet do articulate up and down, and there is a swivel for side-to-side articulation. And while not really an articulation point, the doors can be closed a little bit or popped all the way open. Bumblebee's transformation is a little bit trickier than you might think initially, but before we get into that, one thing to show you is that on his chest he does have an impact spot for siege-like or other bits that can be plugged in. He can even have chest emanations for some reason. As stated, the Bumblebee transformation is a little bit more tricky than initially thought. To start off with, pull the arms away from the body as far as they will go, and then reach to the backpack and open it up all the way. Take the wings of the vehicle mode, which are the doors, and flip them up one click. Then push this little section that is in the middle of his back up and fold it up, and then fold it out again, like that. And then we can push the head over the shoulders and into the body of the vehicle mode. Then take the arms and fold the shoulders straight down so that they slightly cover the arms and the shoulders. Come down to the torso and turn it around 180 degrees. Peg the legs in together and then fold the feet down and reach into the shins. Open up the shins. Fold the feet up into the legs. Once the feet are folded up into the legs, turn the figure back around, come to the shoulders and fold them up until they rest up against the body of the chest. Then we can fold the front of the car mode down. And this is the tricky part. So before you really get the shoulders in place, fold the hood down, and then the hood will actually peg into place in 2 spots. So you want to get this taken care of before you continue with the rest of the transformation. So get all that together. It's not hard, just a little bit annoying. And get the arms pegged in these tiny little gray slots. Then take the front section of then push this bar that is holding the doors on all the way in. Then we could take the rear of the vehicle mode, fold it up, close the doors over the rear section, and then fold up the shins underneath the car mode, and peg everything into place, and then finally take the robot's chest, fold it up, and cover up the bottom of the car mode. And there we go. That's the car mode. The car mode is very small, but rolls really well, and my son actually really, really likes this car mode. Car mode is only 4¼ inches in length, 2 inches of width, and barely 1.5 inches high. Car mode also scales pretty well to Prime and Megatron. Even though Megatron is bigger, Prime is almost the same size, except just slightly different proportioned. So, as you can see, they're all pretty darn tiny. In the car mode, the Stinger is able to be attached to the outside of the vehicle mode via the peg holes that are on the outside, like that. Unfortunately, the directions don't show anywhere that you can peg the gun mode or the gun into car mode, but there are these two pegs on the very bottom of the front of the vehicle that just look big enough to fit that little hole at the back of the gun. So, hey, it does work. Great. Would have been nice if that was in the directions. It's funny to say this, but this is the best Bumblebee figure in the entire Cyberverse line. It is a lot of fun, and it feels much more like a traditional Transformer. The figure, however, isn't perfect. There is looseness in some of the joints that's not great. Specifically, the knees here. Thankfully, my version has tight ball joints, or tight-ish ball joints, and doesn't have the problem that, say, Megatron has. Prime also has a little bit of looseness, but again, I don't think that's anything that cannot be fixed by the owner of the figure. The looseness of Megatron is really worrying because I'm worried about other figures coming down the line. Now, my Megatron could just be a one-off. It really could be, but however, I'm worried about the rest of the line. Thankfully, though, Bumblebee, for the most part, is nice and tight. So, again, I think this is the best Bumblebee figure. I picked this figure up over at Google Shopping, of all places, through the Hasbro Toy Shop. So I'm not sure when this is going to get a general release, so we will see. It's not even available at the Hasbro Pulse yet, so I don't know. I don't know when this is going to get a general release. Keep an eye out for Big Bad Toy Store and follow me on Twitter because I'll definitely post when this guy's next available. If you hear a bunch of rumbling and grumbling in the background, my wife is currently using a hand mixer to mix up a cake for the holidays. Thank you so much for watching this video review. Please let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe and notification buttons, and please be sure to follow me over on patreon.com. Your financial contributions there monthly will enable me to keep doing this for the remainder of the 2020s and hopefully beyond. Again, thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I will catch you next time.